Hey guys, I had just some food for thought for you guys. It's actually been some blog stuff that I've been working on, just as far as what we tolerate, from dogs in different environments, and how we let dogs just be dogs, and when that's good and when that's bad. And just something I wanted to share with you right away, literally, got my little neck patch on and everything, is another trainer that I was watching do some online video. Was working with a family that kind of lives in an area that's very remote, and they have a dog that's skittish of people, and they really want her to be friendly with people. Well, this dog is already on the older side, doesn't bolt from people, doesn't attack people, just standoffish. But the dog is great with the family, and the dog is fine on walks. They want some basic obedience, but they really want her to be friendly with people. And the trainer was honestly just kind of like, she's great. Like, you don't have to mess with it. Like, I'll show you some steps to get her to warm up faster, but you're not going to make her friendly. There are certainly things you can do to build her confidence, but on property, she's great. She's like the ideal dog. She doesn't bother people, but she doesn't bolt away from them either. She just hangs out and watches, and she's a little nervous, but it's not affecting her quality of life. Just let her be. She's a great dog. Just let her be to a certain degree. And so I was just thinking, if that dog lived in LA or just lived in a suburban area outside of LA, they'd be here for a 5-6 week board and train, because they'd be so miserable with all the stuff that they have to contend with every day that it would push them one side or the other to be more fearful, more introverted, or to a point where it would hurt her quality of life, or they would become reactive. And it's like, we got to think about that when we take these dogs. And instead of getting to spend most of the day outside, this dog lives in a really beautiful area, gets to spend most of their time outside during the day by choice. Like, the family lets them inside or outside. It's a pretty great life for a dog. It's more of how they're meant to live. And we're taking these dogs and we're bringing them into the city, bringing them into our home where they have full access to us. And it definitely changes a lot about how they mentally see the world, which completely battles against their instincts. Now, I'm not trying to shame anyone. I have 4 dogs in the city, all with different behavioral issues, but I understand that about them. And because of that, I know which dogs need more structure forever, and why, and how to do that, and how my relationship is different with them than it was with my dogs growing up on a farm that were mostly outside, things like that. I just want you guys to remember what dogs are. They're a different species. They think differently, they process differently, and they learn differently. Now, there's lots of similarities between, don't spoil kids, don't spoil dogs. Kids need structure, dogs need structure. Don't get me wrong. That's definitely there's like a lot of similarities there, but it's very different in the sense of, we raise kids all the time, 24/7. Dogs are not used to that, even though they're very, very social creatures. They're not really meant to be good with everything and be with us 24/7. If there's anything I've seen with the COVID and the quarantine, is that everybody's animals, not everybody, a lot of people's animals, whatever small issues were there, they have grown exponentially. They were small, now they're huge, specifically because they are around their owners more. So then they start to really get everything they need from just being around the owners, and they start secluding more things around them, excluding more things around them. It's like, I don't really need to play with the neighbor dog anymore because I've got mom and dad 24/7 now. More territorial behaviors, things like that. More nipping and guarding of the family because they're overstimulated now. There's a lot of stuff going on out there right now that's changed. That's not only changing how we live with our dogs, but just in general. I thought that was a really amazing example of a dog living their best life, how they were meant to live. And what I mean by meant to live is not that we're all doing it wrong here in the city. What I mean by meant to live is instinctually, the hundreds of years of breeding, what the dogs were meant to do. That's what I mean. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. If anybody has any questions or comments or anything like that, feel free to post below. This was really something that was more of a food for thought.